Yo, what's up everybody, man? I'm back again with another video, man. It's been long enough. I appreciate y'all patience. I know it's been a while. Like I told y'all in the last video, man, I had a whole bunch of client work on my plate. I would try and get everything squared away. Finally, here we are. I get most of that work done. So, I'm back at it now, recording more of this great content for you guys. What I want to talk about in this video, man, is 7 things that you should never do with the women in your life, whether it's a relationship you in or the women that you're dating. You never want to do these 7 things. A lot of the things on this list, I myself has made these mistakes in the past. This is why I'm making this video. You know, there's a saying that goes, a smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. I just want y'all to be wise, man. I want y'all to learn from my mistakes so you don't have to experience the same things that I went through. I had to learn a lot of this stuff the hard way. I had to actually experience the pain and suffering associated with doing the wrong things with women, so that I could get to the space to where I understand how to do the right things. So that's why I made this channel, man. It's to give y'all this information so y'all don't have to make the mistakes that I did. And a lot of the things here, if you do them, you're gonna notice that you end up losing respect, you're gonna end up losing your attraction, you're gonna end up losing your peace. She's gonna start to pull away and you ain't gonna understand why. So if you can avoid doing these 7 things, man, you're gonna save yourself a whole lot of heartache. So let's get right into it. Number 1, don't take major life advice from her. Now, before y'all start jumping down my throat and start going crazy like, oh my God, what do you mean don't take advice from women? They're smart, they know what they're talking about. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Women are emotional creatures. A lot of the times, the things that they say, the advice that they give, is based off of how they feeling in the moment. And if that week, she in a good mood and she feeling you and her attraction high for you, she gonna tell you one thing. And if another week, for some reason her attraction drop, she having a bad day, she in a bad mood, something happened at her job, her emotions different, she gonna give you a different set of advice. A woman's advice is pretty much rooted in how she feels in the moment. And don't get me wrong, we in relationships, we dating girls. Sometimes you want to go to your girl and you want to get a little inspiration. You want to get a little feminine energy. You want some input. It's good to have a partner that you could go and you could talk about important things and you could get her valuable feedback. You do want to get her feedback. As the captain of a ship, right? And you staring around the place, you want to be able to have charge of your ship. You want to be able to say, yo, we need to steer left, we need to steer right. You know, there's an iceberg in front of us. But you also want a first mate that could be like, yo, you know, I saw an iceberg over there too, or I saw an iceberg over there too. You know, you definitely want to take the information. You want to take the input. You want to consider it into the big picture. But at the end of the day, as the captain of that ship, if you're looking forward and there's a big iceberg over here and there's a small iceberg over there and there's a small iceberg over there, and you have to make an important decision. Sometimes that decision involves slamming into one of these icebergs, but you have to slam into the smallest one possible that will inflict the least amount of damage to the ship to ensure that you save all the people on the boat. If you saying turn right and your first mate ain't studying you and first mate is like, let's go straight, and you're like, no, okay, let's go straight. And then bam, you slam right into the iceberg and the whole ship sink, everybody dead. At the end of the day, the consequence of that choice is always going to be on you as the man. So you still have to have the final decision. So again, there's nothing wrong with getting that feminine energy, getting that input, getting that different perspective. But at the end of the day, you need to make those major life choices based off of the facts that you have in front of you. Not off of changing emotions, not off of the feelings that she have in the moment. Because let me tell you something. Let's say you're making $150,000 a year, you're in a dope position. And then you say, you know what? Some crazy business idea that you see on TikTok or wherever. You ain't even think about the idea. You just, you know how sometimes you just get this inspiration and you want to jump in and you go to your girl and you're like, yeah, babe, man, I want to quit my job. I want to go do this crazy thing that you ain't even fully think about yourself. And she, in this week, she love you. Her attraction high. She think you's a shit. You know what I mean? You's the man. So she's like, yeah, babe, go follow your dreams. And then you go do it. And then boom, it don't work out. 6 months later now you're struggling. And you go to your girl and she don't like you as much this week. You know what I mean? And this week she don't like you as much. And she's like, why your stupid mother's gonna do that? Why you risk all of that for this dumb idea? And you're looking at her like, but wait, man, but you tell me. The thing is, her emotions are changing all the time. There's so much times, man, you be in a relationship with a girl and she'll tell you she wants to do something and you know it's a bad decision. And you say, you know what, let me keep my mouth shut. She wants to do it, let's do it. And then you do it and it don't work out. And then she looking at you like, why did you let me do it? You hear that? Why did you let me do it? It's always going to go back to you. The reason she's with you, the reason she's in a relationship with you, is because she chose you to lead the relationship. At the end of the day, she wants you to make the decisions. Whether she tells you that or not, she wants you to have the final say. That don't mean she don't want to have input. That don't mean she don't want to feel heard or understood. That don't mean she don't want to feel like her opinion is valuable. But at the end of the day, she wants you to make a decision. And you need to be able to make a decision. Not off of feelings and changing emotions, but of the facts and what's necessary for the situation. Number 2, and I've said this in many videos, don't give her all of your attention. Now, don't get twisted. You have to give her attention. You have to give her time. You have to give her attention. When you're dating these girls, when you're in relationships with these girls, when you're married, you have to give them some type of time and attention and validation. But your focus always should be on your purpose. And I don't just mean your job or what you do for work. I mean the things that make you who you are and drive you and motivate you as a person, as a man. Your hobbies, your business, your work, your grind, your passions, your friends, your family, all of those things that made her attracted to you in the first place. There was this famous comedian, man, legendary dude. He passed away, Patrice O'Neal. He used to tell this story, right? And first of all, I probably butchering the joke, but just follow along with me here. You know, men are like fishermen. Our purpose is to fish. We out here, we fishing. And we ain't fishing because we need food. We fishing, you know, this is who we are. It's almost like it's a sport. This is just who we are. This is ingrained in us. We are here to fish. And then you get, you know, you're fishing every day. You're catching your fish. You catch your fish. You see it, nice fish. And what you want to do, you want to take a picture with a fish. You want to smile with a fish. You know, look at what I caught. You know, I am the fisherman. I'm the best fisherman. And you throw it back in the ocean. But women are like, every once in a while you catch a fish and then, you know, you try to throw it back and it hops back in your boat. And you're like, damn, little fish. So you throw it back in the water and then it jumps back in the boat. And after a while, you're like, well, damn, this fish keep coming back to me. This might be my fish. So you start treating the fish special and different. And now the fish is like, well, if I'm special and I'm different, why you out there still fishing? Like, why you still have your fisherman's hat? So you're like, damn, little fish, well, you know, you're probably right. You know, you are my little fish, so why do I have this fisherman hat? So then, boom, you throw away your fisherman hat. So then the fish starting to look at you like, well, shit, you know what I mean? You don't need your hat. Why you have all your bait? You don't need all this bait. I is your fish. You ain't trying to catch more fish. So then you're like, you know what, you're right. And then, bang, you know, you knock the bait into the water. So now the fish looking at you, and the fish is like, well, if I is your fish, why you have that fish a rat? So then you're like, you know what, man? Ah, man. You throw away the rat. And you just start throwing away all these different things that made you the fisherman, which is why the fish came to you in the first place, you know. And then finally the fish is like, well, you know, if I is your fish, why you have this boat? And you're like, well, you know, that's a good point. And, you know, you give her your boat. And now you ain't get no boat, you ain't get no rod, you ain't get no hat, you ain't get no bait, nothing. You ain't get none of the things that made you the fisherman, which is why this fish came to you in the first place. And then all the reasons that the fish came to you in the first place gone. And then the fish start looking at you like you're a piece of shit. Fish don't even respect you no more. And the fish is like, you ain't even got a boat. Like I said, I don't even know if I tell that joke perfectly, but the point of the story is you start giving the fish everything, all of your attention. You completely give it your purpose, everything that made you the fisherman, which is why the fish came to you in the first place. And you get rid of it thinking that this is what's going to make the fish happy. It's not going to make the fish happy. The fish is always going to try to get you to get rid of the things to catch fish. But that is your purpose. Your purpose on this planet is to be the fisherman. So never change being a fisherman. Never give up all the things that made that fish come to you in the first place. Always stay on your purpose. Stay on your grind. Stay on your mission in life. Stay in the gym. Stay focused. Stay learning. Stay reading. Stay doing exciting things that fuel you and give you passion and drive that make you happy. The happier you are, the happier she's going to be with you. Your time is valuable. Keep your time and attention focused on your purpose. Let me tell you something. If a girl know that every time she call you, you're going to drop every single thing that you're doing just to do everything that she wants you to do, she might like it in the beginning, you know. She might like it here and there, but over time, she'll get bored, she'll lose respect for you, and she'll start to pull away. And you ain't gonna know what's going on. You ain't gonna know why. You can't give her all your time and attention. You have to give her time and attention, but you have to focus on your purpose. You're always gonna be in a better position, right? If she's calling you, trying to get your attention from doing whatever it is that you're doing, then if every time she calls you, you drop every single thing that you're doing just to give her attention, and then over time, she starts to get bored and pull away. You're always going to be in a better position if she wants your time, rather than if she's tired of having too much of your time. Now, number 3, don't let her change your mindset. And this is a pretty easy one. And this is happening from the beginning. Sometimes you meet a girl and you'll have a strong opinion about something, and then she'll tell you, oh, well, I like it this way. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, well, I like it that way too. And then she'll be like, well, you know, like I say, women emotions change. She might be like, I like it this way. And then you're like, oh, well, I like it this way too. And then you flip-flopping all over the damn place. And she sees these things, you know. She's like, but wait, this man don't have an opinion of his own. He don't have his own beliefs, his own views. Women want you to have your own views. Oftentimes, they want to adapt your views. They want to learn who you are, become a part of your views. When a woman into you, let me tell you something. I don't see women change religion because they really into the guy that they with. Women would change a lot to be with the man that they love. So don't change who you are thinking that that's going to get her to be with you. At the end of the day, right, when you're with a woman long enough, she gonna start trying to influence the things that you do. They like these little mentalists. They just try to like gain your head and change the way you view the world and your perspective and shape the way you think. That's just their nature. They'll try and do it with your job, your work, your money, the way you think, your sleep habits, your friends, everything about you. They will try to warp your mind and change every little nuanced detail about you just to see if they could do it. And before you know it, you just start making tiny little compromises just to kind of appease and make her happy. And then one day before you know it, boom, you ain't yourself no more. And a lot of times, right, I think I said this in a past video, ain't like a big slice, it's a bunch of little slices, small little micro cuts, little tiny compromises that you just start to shift and shift and shift. And before you know it, you're not the same person anymore. Listen, you might be on your grind and she might be like, why you always working? I just want you to stay home and sleep. And before you know it, give it enough time, you in the bed watching Netflix, you losing money, you losing the bag, you losing time in the gym, you losing your body, you losing your friends, and then she looking at you like, why you always up under me? It's crazy. Listen, the only time you should change things about yourself if it's an opportunity to grow and become better. Now, if she exposes you to something that you like, yo, I never looked at it that way. This is amazing. This is really something that if I implement into my life, it is going to make me a more amazing man. Then by all means, just like anything you learn, just like the information I'm giving you right now, if you feel this is going to improve you and you make it a part of your character and who you are, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you change in yourself just to please somebody else and make them happy and thinking that that's going to make them want you more, you're walking on a slippery slope and it's a path for failure. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Stick to the mindset that built you. Stick to the mindset that makes you who you are. She might love that soft compromising you for a moment, but she gonna respect the focus-driven version of you that does not change unless it's to grow and become better and absolutely necessary. Number 4, and I think I kind of said this before, but never give up on your purpose. Never let her take you away from the things that make you who you are, that's gonna make you successful, that's gonna take you to the places that you need to go in life. You cannot take care of her or any kind of family if you don't take care of your business first. If you don't get to your bag, if you don't get to your purpose in life. You need to be focused. She might not always understand your grind, She might not always understand your passions, but it's your mission. And once you give that up, even if it's for her, she gonna start losing respect for you. Like I say, you might be grinding out here, you might be putting in the work, she meets you doing that, she fall in love with the grind, she's like, yo, this man's so ambitious, he's so hardworking. And then when she get with you, she's like, yo, I want to watch Netflix, I want to chill, and you start hanging out with her every day, every night, and then before you know it, your grind slip, you ain't in the gym, you're losing everything that made you who you are. She might like it in the beginning, or she might feel like, okay, yo, he making time for me, he giving me all this extra attention, he loves me. But after a while, she might be like, but what about the things that I fell in love with you for to begin with? You was this cool dude, you had this great mission in life, you were so driven, you were so ambitious, you were taking care of your body, you had all these hobbies that were so interesting and attractive. All you do now is lay around the place watching Netflix with me. Them girls will lose respect for you like that. Trust me. Stay on your mission, stay on your purpose in life. That is what makes you the man that you are. That is why she wanted you to begin with. Never lose sight of that. You can't sacrifice your goals to make her or anybody comfortable. She didn't fall in love with a guy who would just lounge around the house and be up on her ass all the time. She fell in love with a guy that's chasing that greatness. That's on his purpose and on his mission in life. Now, number 5. This here is more so for the guys that's kind of like, she fall in love with you, she kind of want to be exclusive, she's to the point to where, she wants to be in that exclusive one-on-one relationship with you, and you're looking at her like, what, this girl here is solid, you might want to make her your girl. Never give up your sexual options unless she does too. And I mean completely. If she's still talking to her exes, DMing dudes, having a bunch of male friends or male orbiters, and she expects you to cut off every woman that that ain't love, that ain't respect, that's control. I've seen guys delete all their followers, cut off all the girls that they used to mess with, cut off all the girls that they know in their life, period. 100% cut off. And their girl out here still entertaining dudes in real life on social media, liking pictures, DMing dudes, talking about them man is just friends. Nah, don't cut off your sexual options until she has completely 100% cut off all male access to her. Don't let these girls gaslight you and tell you insecure because she can't have male friends. You can have all the male friends you want. I just can't take you serious. I can't be in a relationship with you. If she wants you to cut off all of your options and all of your access and to be monogamous, she needs to give you all the things that come with that. She needs to cut off everybody. The only male attention that she should be entertaining is yours. That's the end of the story. I don't need to go too much into that one. That one is straightforward. There's no version of this that's middle ground, that's compromise. Let me meet you in the middle. If she wants you to give up all of your sexual options, she needs to give up all of hers. Men and women ain't the same, and don't let them fool you. Don't let them guys, oh, that's my ex, me and him have history, we just friends, we don't talk like that. I don't care. Listen, they could do what they want, you know. Listen, these girls could do whatever they want. Let me tell you something. I don't control nobody, you know. She could talk to who she want. She could DM all her exes. She could like as many pictures as she want. She could post what she wants. She could go on girls trips. She just can't be my girlfriend. If she talking about being exclusive and you cutting off all your options, she needs to do the same. Point blank period. No discussion about it. Now, number 6, don't let her control you. What do I mean by that? When she start giving you rules, like FaceTime me when you wake up, or you need to text me every hour, or, you know, call me when you reach home. My boy, that ain't love. That's a leash. You a dog, and she have you on her leash. Listen, I don't coach a whole bunch of people, right? Where the man girls want him to check in every single morning, every single night. And the man like, yo man, I thought I was being loyal, I thought I was giving her what she want, I thought I was making her happy. But then before they know it, it backfire. She start looking at him like he weak. She start looking at him like he's a pushover. She don't have no respect for him. Her attraction start to drop, and she start to pull away her time and attention from him. She start to pull away. A lot of the times, these girls don't look at dudes like that as trustworthy. They don't look at the dudes that they could control as dudes that they feel safe with. They want to know that when it comes down to it, you could stand 10 toes and tell a man no, even if it means losing them. Now don't get me wrong, you know. I ain't saying that you can't call your girl in the morning or you can't call your girl in the night. If you wake up in the morning and you feeling like, you know what, let me give my girl a call, put a smile on her face, call your girl. If you get home from the gym and you're like, you know what, yo, I ain't talked to my girl for a few hours, man, I had a good workout, I want to call her and tell her how I feel, you know what I mean, your boy feeling good, your boy feeling big, your boy feeling swole, you know what I mean, give her a call. Of course, you could call your girl whenever you feel like. What I'm saying is, if she's telling you, if she's giving you the rules that you must follow, if you don't comply or else, that's when it becomes problematic. So I want you to be able to differentiate between the two. If you're doing it because this is what you want to do, my boy, knock yourself out. If you're doing it because she gave you on that leash and she's like, if you don't do this, you're gonna be problems, that's where you gotta draw the line. Respect comes from being with a man on his terms. If you're loyal and you wanna be nice and you wanna do these sweet things, let it be your choice, but let it be on your terms. Now, number 7. Now, this one here, man, I've seen this one happen in real life. I've experienced this from guys I had to cut off, man. You'll be surprised how some of these dudes out here jokey, man. Number 7 is never betray your brothers for a woman. The code is simple. You put your bros before the drama. No woman should ever come between you and your real day ones. The ones that had your back from the jump. I done been in situations and I've seen situations where just to get the dude that they with, they try and sleep with his best friend. Like, it's crazy out here in these streets. The types of things that a toxic woman could do to a brotherhood is insane if you allow it. And like I said, we've all seen it. A woman dating a guy and she flirts with his boys just to make him jealous, or just to see if the friend would actually give her the time of day. Where you to go wrong as the men is, instead of confronting her, you start beefing with your boy. Unless he cross a line and start flirting with her first, and if that's the type of dude you're dealing with, he shouldn't be your friend to begin with. But unless that ain't happen, you need to talk to her mother's. You need to confront she. You don't need to be confronting him. You need to confront her. Don't let her get between you and your dog. And this is happening in friend groups all the time. Like I said, I've seen it myself. I've experienced it myself. I've been in the middle of it. You need to be clear. If you have solid dogs, these dudes will never try to snatch your girl. Them man will never try and down talk you. Them man will never try and go behind your back. This is real solid dudes. These is your day ones, your bros for real. Them man have your back through thick and thin. You need to be clear. If you bring your girl around that crew, she start causing chaos, she is gone. Not your boys, you know. She is gone. She is out the door. Out the door packing. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. So like I said, man, these are 7 things that you never want to do. You never want to allow with the women that you're dating, with the women that you're in relationships with your wife. You never want to do these 7 things, man. Women can be amazing. They can be a joy to be around. But your life could go sideways real fast if you start making these 7 mistakes. You gotta stay sharp, you gotta stay focused, and you gotta protect your energy. You gotta make sure that you don't never allow these 7 things to happen around any girl that you're dealing with. So I hope this video will help, man. If you or somebody you know is going through a situation and you need my help, I do offer one-on-one coaching. The link is in the bio. So if you make any of these mistakes, man, just give me 100 emoji in the comments, man. Let me know if you made any of these 7 mistakes. And let me know, man, which one of these here was the hardest lessons for you to learn from. I got a bunch more topics for you on the way, man. I just wanted to get this video out. Like I said, I make one in a long time. I appreciate you guys being patient and sticking with your boy. But we here, we back. Content about to start rolling out again, man. So keep it locked, you don't know. And follow me on all platforms. And until the next one, man, it's TBL to the world.
To the world. Yeah, you know. TBL. Them can't stop with. Can't hold me down. I'm gonna find them a pray for lightning shock way. I feel see we lifeless, but the ground.